everyone, welcome back to my YouTube. I'm really excited because today I'm going to be talking about something that is so not talked about. It's not talked about often enough, and that's how to handle an injury and just the emotions behind handling an injury. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notifications of when I post a video. And without further ado, let's get started. So I really want to talk about today how to not get discouraged when you have an injury. And as someone that is currently injured and suffering from a Morton's neuroma, which is basically pinched nerves in between the balls of my feet, makes it feel like I'm walking on rocks. I can tell you this is so discouraging to be injured and to feel like you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You don't know when you're going to be fully recovered. Your doctor's saying just give it another week, give it another day, and you're just like, I just want to get back to the studio. So I get that. So these are my tips in how to not feel discouraged when you have an injury and what to do about it. The first tip that I have for you is to basically just acknowledge what your body's asking, which it's asking for a break. It's saying, I've had enough of XYZ movement. Maybe you're jumping too much and you have an ankle injury, or your toes are asking for a break from a point. You need to be able to recognize that and say, look, my body's asking for a break, I need to give it to it. That's all your body's signaling to you, is saying, I need a break from this. So respect your body and respect its wishes to just have a minute to catch its breath. We work so hard as dancers and we push ourselves to the ground like so much. So just acknowledge the fact that your body's asking for a break and give it to your body, respect your body enough to say, I'm going to give it the time that the doctor says or my body is signaling to tell me, and respect that very thing. So I think that's the first thing, is just recognize that your body's asking for a break. The second tip that I want to give you guys is that understand you're not alone. Almost every single dancer I know, every single dancer that I've worked with and talked about this with, has gone through some sort of injury. So you're in good company is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that to discourage you from feeling like, oh yeah, well, you're just discounting my injury, like this is hard for me. Yes, I'm acknowledging that this is hard for you, but what I'm saying is that there's so many other girls and guys that have gone through an injury and who can tell you, like, it's not easy. I'm here to listen to you. You will recover. So you're in good company. Just remember that. The third tip I have is to stay active if you can. So like for me, I have feet in the Morton's neuroma, so I can't really do releve a lot without it hurting. But can I do ab exercises? Can I do back exercises? And I'm not saying don't rest, of course rest, but I felt so much energy from doing the ab workouts and the back workouts, and just really massaging my feet and taking time for other body parts and staying active and keeping my blood pumping to where it's making me feel better about, okay, I'm not being 100%, lazy. It's not lazy, it's just rest. But in our head, we have this thing where we're like, I'm being lazy, or at least maybe that's me and I'm not normal. You're not being lazy. You need to give your body rest, but can you be active in other ways? Maybe your doctor's asking you to not jump, but can you still go on a long walk, with your siblings or with your parents, or call someone on the phone and go on a long walk? It's gonna make you feel better in the long run just to stay somewhat active. But definitely if your doctor's saying don't be active, then don't be active. This is for the people that can be active. So stay active if you can, or in some regard. The next tip that I have for you is take this time when you're laying in bed and recovering and just resting to discover those other passions that you have that are outside of ballet. So maybe you really like to draw, or maybe you really like to edit videos, or maybe you really like, I don't know, it could be a number of passions that you have that have nothing to do with ballet. And I think this is probably the most important tip in my opinion, because I think as ballerinas, as dancers, we get so wrapped up in ballet and dance being our life that it turns into our identity. When someone asks, what do? We say, I dance or I do ballet, and we tend to leave out those things that aren't as exciting. So I think that it's important we don't just hold our identity in dance and ballet, but that we also tap into those other passions that we have too. So take this extra time during your injury to really think about what is it that I'm passionate about that's maybe outside of the dance world, and take time to feed into that and research it, and kind of discover that side of yourself that you don't usually tap into or usually don't have the time for. Those are my tips. I hope those helped you guys, and I hope you got something out of this too. If you are going through an injury, just remember you're not alone, and it happens to almost every dancer that I personally know. So just remain encouraged in the fact that you will recover, you will bounce back, but you need to give your body the time to rest and to recover. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys. So take care.